We have heard a lot about the Russian collusion in the Trump administration, but now, according to a scathing new report first reported in the Hill newspaper, we're learning more about a 4-year Department of Justice investigation into Russian nuclear corruption on U.S. soil, allegedly involving bribes, kickbacks, and giving Vladimir Putin control of more than 20% of America's uranium supply, with, quote, millions of dollars flowing to former President Bill Clinton's charitable foundation at the center of this investigation that began in 2010 and was being led by then Attorney General Eric Holder. An FBI informant now says he tried to go public with some of this information, but was threatened. Here's what his attorney, Victoria Tunsing, now says.
When he started working for the FBI in 2009, they had him sign what's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. And when he went public in 2016, way after all this case stuff was done, the Justice Department under Loretta Lynch called him and threatened him with his freedom.
The Hill's John Solomon has uncovered another massive Democratic scandal that is raising serious legal questions about the Obama administration and the Clintons. Now, here's a quick overview of what we now know as this is developing every hour. According to John Solomon and Circa News' Sarah Carter, in 2009, the FBI uncovered evidence showing that the Russia, remember? Russia, Vladimir Putin, that their nuclear industry officials were engaging in bribery and kickbacks and money laundering and other criminal activities. We knew about it in an effort to move and advance Vladimir Putin's influence on America's uranium market. Then inexplicably, knowing all of this, in 2010, while the bribery scheme was still going on, the Obama administration, they went on and approved the Uranium One deal. That gave Vladimir Putin, Russia, 20% of control of America's uranium, the foundational material to make nuclear weapons. There's also another major aspect to this story. The Hill and Circa are reporting that the FBI has evidence, including an eyewitness account, that Russian nuclear officials, quote, routed millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation while Hillary was serving as Secretary of State and while she signed off on the Uranium One deal that gave 20% of our uranium to Vladimir. Now, tonight, the lawyer for the FBI informant, Victoria Tunsing, she says the Obama administration blocked her client from informing Congress and the American people about what he saw happening. Victoria will join us in a few minutes with an exclusive interview. But first, here's what we don't know and why you should be outraged. This is what the media won't tell you. According to both reports, the Obama administration, they kept evidence of this Russian bribery plot secret from Congress. And by the way, it's unclear if members of the government committee, the people that approved the Uranium One deal for Vladimir, knew what Russia was doing when they actually signed off on the agreement. There's evidence that shows that may in fact be true. And the Senate Judiciary Committee has now announced that they are launching an investigation into what key Obama administration officials knew and what they knew when. And for good reason. There are several high-profile officials that were involved in all of this. Here they are. Former Attorney General Eric Holder. He was a member of the committee that approved Uranium One. He had to know all of this. And he also headed the Department of Justice. They oversee the FBI. Now, to me, there's no way he didn't know about this Russian nuclear plot, and he needs to testify under oath what he knew, when he knew it. Did he withhold vital national security information? Then there's a now Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, and he's now Deputy FBI Director, Andrew McCabe. Two other people, watch their names. They were the only ones who oversaw the FBI's investigation into this Russian bribery, so there's no way that they weren't aware of what was happening. So tonight, the burning question is, why were they silent? Why didn't they sound the alarm about Russia while uranium was being approved, this deal to give to Putin? And by the way, next on the list, special counsel Robert Mueller. He was the FBI director back in 2009 when all this probe was going on, the bribery probe. You know, given what we now know, Mueller should not be in charge of any investigation as it relates to Russia or Russian collusion or election interference because he has yet another massive conflict of interest. But since it appears that Mueller will be sticking around, maybe he should focus on the actual evidence of real Russian collusion. Everything is here, all the evidence. All that Mueller and his team needs to do is corroborate the facts. Now today, in an effort to be fair, to get answers, we reached out to Eric Holder. to Robert Mueller, Andrew McCabe, Rod Rosenstein, Bill and Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation. We asked all of them to comment about these explosive reports. The Department of Justice did respond about McCabe and Rosenstein. They stated, quote, per long-standing department policy, we don't comment on the existence or course of investigations. The Clinton Foundation, they did get back to us. They're denying the story. And big surprise, we didn't hear back from any others that we reached out to. Shocker. Now, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, is also being asked about investigating this scandal. He was on Capitol Hill earlier today. He was pressed by Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa about the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein. Watch this.
I would like to remind you that Deputy Attorney Rosenstein directly supervised the criminal case when he was U.S. Attorney in Maryland. I don't think it would be proper for him to supervise a review of his own conduct, do you?
It would be his decision. He's a man of integrity and ability. If he feels that he has a inability to proceed with any investigation, it would be his responsibility to make that determination and should consult, as I told you I would, and as I have done with the senior ethics people at the department.
I'm sorry, this is shocking that the Attorney General is refusing to flat out say Rod Rosenstein needs to recuse himself if the DOJ opens an investigation into this Russia bribery scandal. Sessions was also asked about having the FBI having evidence that Russians kicked back money to the Clinton Foundation. He refused to comment on that publicly. Now, we've been saying this for months. If the Attorney General believes in equal justice under the law, he needs to investigate the Clintons because there's overwhelming, incontrovertible criminal evidence against them. They should not get a free pass just because they have money, name, power, and influence. That's not how our system of justice is supposed to work.